Okay, so this was number 2 on the white exam. I think it was number 1 on the purple exam. Suppose that the Indian relative demand curve for blankets compared to T is that. India's relative supply curve is that. Calculate the relative price of a blanket in India's autarky. So that's where you have to make everything yourself. 1,000 minus 10, find a pen that's working. 10 times the relative price of blankets is going to be equal to 20 times the relative price of blankets minus 200. 1,200 is equal to 30 PB over PT. So the relative price of a blanket in autarky is going to be 1,200 divided by 30, or 40. Suppose that the relative supply for the world is that. What good will India export? Well, what do we know? Well, what we know is that the relative demand, which is the same for the world as it is for India on its own, is now going to be equal to that global relative supply. So 1,200 is equal to 50 PB over PT. So the terms of trade price of a blanket is going to be 1,200 divided by 50. 1,200 divided by 50, which is 24. Excuse me. So, what does that tell us? You know, that says, oh, gee, the terms of trade price of a blanket is less than the autarky price. India will import blankets. That means they're going to be exporting T. Suppose that T is electricity intensive while blankets is oil intensive. When India opens up for trade, which factors owners benefit? Well, we open up for trade, the price of a blanket is going to go down. By the Stolper-Samuelson theorem, we know that that's going to hurt whatever blankets are intensive in, so oil owners lose. That's going to benefit whatever T is intensive in, because just as the price of blankets goes down from 40 to 24, the price of T is going to go up. So whatever T is intensive in, which is electricity, they are going to gain from that. Go over to the purple exam, same idea, different numbers. Calculate the relative price in autarky. So 1,000 minus 10, relative price of T is equal to 20, relative price of blankets minus 200. 1,200 is equal to 30 times the relative price. So the relative price in autarky is again 40. Suppose that the relative supply for the world is that. What good will India export? So 1,000 minus 10 times the relative price of blankets is equal to the new relative supply for the world, 200. So 1,200 is equal to 20, the relative price. So 1,200 divided by 20 is 60. That is the relative price of a blanket under the terms of trade. That is higher than it is in autarky, so India will export blankets. Suppose T is electricity intensive, while blankets are oil intensive. Again, Stolper-Samuelson, the price of a blanket goes up. So since blankets are oil intensive, oil owners gain, whereas electricity owners are made worse off.